You've discovered Poi and you're super excited to dive into it. So what kind of Poi should you get? And does the kind of Poi make a huge difference? Drex here from Drex Factor Poi, sharing with you the love of Poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. And in this video, I want to share with you my picks for what I think are the best sets of Poi to start out your flow journey with. Before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Fire Mecca, Flow Fests, Flow Toys, Juggling Calling, Pyroterra Light Toys, Spinballs, and Ultra Poi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all these amazing businesses and what they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links that I've got down in the description of this video. And special thanks to non-business friends of the channel, Johnny Howard, Lane Machinsky, and Becca Bekkonen. Thank you all so very much for your support for my work and my mission. Getting into Poi is super exciting. In all likelihood, you're trying out something that's new and different. Every new trick you nail and every new discovery you make feels like winning at the Olympics or finishing a marathon. But all that's dependent on actually having a set of Poi to work with. And this can be the cause of a lot of anxiety for people, especially at the start of their flow journey. What kind of Poi should you buy? Should you make your own? Do you buy Fire Poi to make sure you're prepared for options ahead? Do you get LED or daytime Poi? What about contact Poi? There's a lot to untangle here. So to start, let's cover how Poi are traditionally constructed and the different types of Poi that there are out there. Hey, if you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my new videos. I post multiple times a week on Poi spinning and flow arts, so keep your eyes peeled. Every single set of Poi consists of three specific parts. A head, which is the weighted end that normally spins farther away from your body and is the thing most people are looking at as you spin. The head can range from being a Kevlar knot for soaking up fuel in fire Poi, to an assembly of electronics for LED Poi, a spherical contact juggling ball, or weighted bag tucked inside of a set of socks. The tether, a flexible leash that offers up connection between the head and the handle. In older sets of fire Poi, this is typically a metal chain, but more recently, it's become fashionable to use a flexible aramid-based rope called Technora in fire Poi. Additional options include an enormous range of different ropes, strings, and even a segment of the same sock that makes up the head. And finally, a handle that is held by the performer. Handles range from flexible loops of material in older sets of Poi to various versions of a ball-shaped form factor in most modern Poi. Something to bear in mind is that if you want to be able to release your Poi in throws or contact rolls, ball-shaped handles are a must. Given that there's only three components to a single Poi, you'd be shocked at the dizzying array of different ways out there to construct or use Poi. I would whittle down that taxonomy into three primary categories of Poi with several subcategories nested within them. First up are daytime or practice Poi. These can be anything from colorful sock Poi to garden variety contact Poi. Other options include Poi with tails to them, or as they're sometimes called zuni Poi, and flag Poi. Now, it does have to be said here that technically any set of Poi can be thought of as being practice Poi, given that you can really practice with any set of them. But I'm specifically setting aside Poi for this category that can fit into no other categories. Put simply, you can practice with any set of Poi, but you frequently cannot light on fire any set of Poi that you may practice with. Moving on. The next major category is what I'd call LED Poi. These are Poi that have battery-powered LED assemblies in the heads that are meant to light up at night or in dark locations so the Poi heads can be seen more clearly. Head form factors may be rods, teardrops, spheres, or even assemblies inside of socks. Within the LED Poi world, I would also set aside three major categories. First are what I'd call single-point LED Poi. These are sets of Poi in which the patterns or colors produced are confined to those that can be produced with only a single point of light. This doesn't mean the Poi themselves have only one LED light inside of them, however. Generally, there are several oriented such that the light can be clearly seen from any angle, but they are incapable of producing any patterns that require more than one row of lights to construct. Next are what I'd call picture Poi. They have multiple rows of LEDs, usually arranged in a rod-like form factor that flash on and off regularly in such a fashion that they produce very simple graphics when viewed spun in a dark environment. Finally, there are what I'd call programmable Poi. Not only do these sets of Poi have multiple rows of LEDs, but you can also upload custom graphics into them to produce whatever pictures you'd like to in their trails. These tend to be among the most expensive Poi out there and are the go-to LED Poi for most professional performers. And for our final category of poi, there are fire poi. These consist of sets of poi designed to be lit on fire while they are spun. The most common version of this prop is constructed with a small Kevlar knot mounted on the end of a chain or an aramid leash like Technora or Kevlar. Variations within this classification include snakes, in which the entire length of the poi tether and head are all a part of the same knot and that produce broad sheets of fire trails. And there's also cage poi, which are specialized fire poi with metal cages on the end meant to hold wood chips or steel wool to produce a trail of sparks or embers as they're burned. A variation on this idea will involve mounting sparklers to the end of the set of fire poi. Please note, these are among the most dangerous sets of fire poi because of a high level of risk to the performer and the area around them. Never use sets of poi like this unsupervised. Okay, so that's a lot of different options out there. How do you navigate all of them if you're just starting out? First up, this may be a controversial take, but I would honestly say to just take fire poi off the list completely if you're starting from scratch. This is for several reasons. First, there is literally no set of fire poi out there that is forgiving. They either carry metal hardware or are packed in a dense enough fashion that mistakes that result in collisions will hurt. Second, investing in a new hobby can be a lot. With the exception of programmable poi, fire poi on average are more expensive per pair than comparatively sized LED or daytime poi. Start practicing with something that's more forgiving and that looks cooler during the daytime, and/or borrow fire poi from somebody else who will supervise your early burns before splurging for a set of fire poi. And finally, it has to be said that despite the many advances made in the past decade at improving how comfortable fire poi are to spin, they still have a long way to go to match non-fire options. Spin with a set of poi that'll be fun and comfortable to spin, and that'll encourage you to practice more at the get-go. Cool. So that narrows things down to daytime and LED poi. Most of your first practice is likely to just be you by yourself or with a couple friends, so you definitely don't need poi that are made specifically for performances just yet. I see pros and cons to investing in daytime versus LED poi up front. Daytime poi are by and large cheaper, but they're also going to limit your options for when you can practice if they don't light up. The stakes are also a lot higher if you beat the heck out of a set of LED poi, in that you might damage the battery or circuitry inside. But let's be real here. There's also more wow factor when you start out spinning LEDs as opposed to more daytime options. I will say up front that I don't think contact poi are a good first set of poi for most people unless they know from the get-go that's the style they want to learn. Contact poi are heavy and hard, and unless you're committed to learning many contact poi specific techniques, I think they become as much an impediment as a benefit. There's a lot to weigh here, but I do have some favorites. So let me share 3 picks that I hope will steer many of you in the right direction. First up, if you're coming down on Team Daytime Poi, then my recommendation is a set of sock poi from, well, sock poi. They're soft and forgiving, and that's really important at the start of your flow journey. Shipping can take a little while because the shop is based in Russia, but seriously, if you're looking for a good balance between cost, beginner-friendly, and visually stunning, these really can't be beat. Second, if you are under the age of about 17, I'd suggest you start with spin balls from Fun and Motion Toys. They're super light and incredibly affordable. They're built to take the abuse that kids can dole out to them. They're light enough that I think adults will have a rough time making them work, and especially transitioning to other sets of poi afterwards. But for kids and teenagers, these would be my go-to beginner recommendation. But honestly, my top pick is really the most popular sets of LED poi in the world. Pod poi. There's a reason they're so popular. They have really soft shells that make them very forgiving for literally every type of trick that you could try with them. And while the programming can be a little challenging to navigate, they do have a wide variety of built-in modes that can be fun to play with. And they also have an awesome warranty. They're designed to take abuse, but the people at Flow Toys will have you covered if they buckle under it at any point. I think the trade-off here is that they're comfortable and soft enough to work for daytime practice while giving you LED options so you can continue practice at night. There's no perfect option for starting poi, but I think pod poi check off more boxes than just about any other set of poi that I can think of. And if you'd like to get a discount on a set of them, you can use my code DREXFACTOR2022 at checkout to get a discount on your order. Yes, I am sponsored by them, but I'm also sponsored by several other companies as well. These are the best beginner option in my head, regardless of that. What are your picks for the best sets of beginner poi out there? Do you prefer to make your own? Do you have a specific shop that you like to support? Leave me a comment and let me know. This video would not be possible if not for the wonderful support of all of these amazing people right here. These are my Flow patrons over on Patreon, and they, along with the people listed down in the description, help to make this video and all the videos on my channel possible. Thank you one and all for your support. Do you like my videos? Do you like my flow sessions, vlogs, reviews, combos, and more? I'm on a mission to bring poi spinning and flow arts to the wider world and help people connect with their brains and their bodies. So help me do it. Head on over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and sign up. You can do that at the link in the description or the card that just popped up if you are watching on YouTube. There you can get access to a whole host of awesome rewards and, better yet, help me along in my mission. Do check that out. Please and thank you. If you are curious and want to learn more about any of the specific brands or models that I've talked about here, I'll link to a playlist of poi equipment reviews that I have done down in the description, as well as up on screen if you are watching on YouTube. The YouTube algorithm also thinks that you'll like this video up top based upon your viewing habits, so maybe give that a shot too, eh? Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to get outside to flow today, and I will see you with a new video on Wednesday. Peace.